So good afternoon, welcome to our weekly YouTube video. My name is Gareth Burley, part of the family and the furniture here at Microcare. Good to be back. Of course, last week we were out at the electric vehicle conferences, the Smart Mobility Conference. Fantastic to see all the things that are happening across the country. And it was great to present our electric vehicle chargers that we're busy with. And then it was also at the South African Energy Efficiency Conference, chatting electric vehicles, green fleets. So some exciting things happening in this space, and look out for some more videos that we'll do on that. But today I want to talk about something that seems to be happening a lot more, is that a lot of people have got solar systems, and when you've got a microcare system, of course it's adjustable. You can fit it into your lifestyle. And we often like to set it up at the start of the installation and then sort of leave it running, but there is a bit of a difference between the winter and the summer, and I've had a lot of people say, listen, I'd like to get a little bit more out of the system, particularly as the sun comes up. So I thought let's just chat about that for a moment and just give you two examples. I will give a disclaimer at this point and say that every system is different and energy use is not the same from family to family, business to business. So please consider that when you're sizing this or making these adjustments. So I've got the board here quickly, and I just want to quickly touch on something very simple, typical day kind of time, and we normally see the sort of the sun come up and go down. And this is the solar generation. Now, what we're seeing in sort of summer is the sun's come up a little bit earlier and sort of kind of that kind of shape, the bell shape of solar. And if you've got an east-west facing roof, it can come up a little bit earlier, go down a bit later, maybe a bit longer plateau as well. So it means I'm getting a little bit more solar power in. So should I be adjusting my solar system to just maybe run a little bit more on the sun? Now, for some of us, we're pretty much already off-grid. We've got the system set up. We've got a battery bank size that's suited for our lifestyle and our energy use. But for a lot of people, whether it's not enough roof space or budget or whatever it may be, they're pretty much running off the sun. And then it's sort of using all the sun power, but then sort of in the evenings, the battery power is run to a certain run-to voltage and it cuts off. And then, of course, you move back onto Eskom or generator or another power supply. So should we be adjusting as per this time of year? So what I'm going to do is, I'm not sure what you can see here. Can I go down a little bit? Yeah. So if I do like a battery, call this a 100% full battery, and I want to work on SOC state of charge. So typically what happens with your battery is as the sun comes up, using the power, it's filling your battery, and it sort of late afternoon, everyone's coming home and we start to use a lot more power. So during the day, we get 100% battery, and as the day goes through, we sort of run down. And let's just call this point over here what my DC run-to voltage is. So I'm going to look at voltage here. At this point, this is where we'll switch over to Eskom. Now, this is in solar control mode. So if you've got your system in solar control mode, you're using the battery power. It's not just going to carry on going. You're going to do that to your DC run-to voltage. And then as the sun comes up in the next morning, you'll start to fill this up. And at a certain point, which we call the AC run-to voltage, at that point over there, you'll be running off the sun power while it continues to fill the battery. So your load will take over there by the sun. So those are two important values, and they're different for every battery. So the little tip that we're giving you today is, if your DC run-to voltage here is typically on a Blue Nova, which we sell lots of, Blue Nova 5.2 kilowatt hour, the BP battery, you might have a rack of them. If you've got your DC set to 51 volts, we would recommend you don't change it. If it's above 51, then maybe in summer it's a good time to set it down. And that's what we've been doing for a few clients, particularly when they don't have enough battery power or enough solar power, they can't fit any more panels in. We've made this 51.8 or even higher so that we keep a good meat in the battery. But 51.2 volts means that's the lowest point we'd like to see you go. So at 51 volts, the DC run-to voltage is reached, and so we switch over to AC and so on. So that's the mark there. If you haven't set it at 51 and you're going to summer, you're seeing a lot more sun, and your inverter is set up to solar control mode, then this is something to consider. Now, I spoke to our technical team, and they gave me strict instructions to say that if you are not getting a full charge in your battery at least every 3 days, we've got rain and wind and things like that, then it's advisable that you don't change it. So we have some people seeing them change to 51 volts, but then they don't get a full charge. And we'd like to see a full charge in those battery every 3 days. Okay, so that's the one scenario. The other scenario is when you actually set up the system in UPS mode, but you run it on state of charge. So you've got solar panels, and then you've got this relay that switches over, and then you set it as per where you want the voltage, the state of charge. So I'll just use a blue line. So let's just say at 40%, you say, right, at that point, I'm going to switch ESCOM on and cut off and so on. And you could have this one at 80%. Now, these are adjustable values. Now, that can also be changed. You can make this even lower. You can say with this special setup, we are based on state of charge, it can be adjusted. And those are all set up differently. Again, every system is different. But what I would say to you in summer, if you are finding that you're not using all your solar power, you could consider dropping this by 20%. So if it's setting at 40%, that's your changeover when ESCOM takes over. Voter and the boys have given me the go-ahead to go 20% less. Okay. So this is sort of setting up for summer. And when we start getting towards winter next year, when do I change it back, Gareth? Well, that's going to be when we're not getting that full charge every 3 days. So that's the key thing. Every third day, at least, make sure you're getting a full charge. If you're not, then don't make too many changes to your system. All right. I hope that's helpful. As always, we're here to assist. If you're feeling you're not getting the maximum out of the solar power out of your system, chat to our team and we'll make the adjustments. So there's two options here in UPS mode when you've got the batteries changeover set up on state of charge, or it's in solar control mode rather, based on run to voltages. All right. This information's on our manual. We've got some really cool diagrams to help you as well. And as always, ask questions. We're here to help you get the maximum out of your solar system. Right, thanks for watching. We'll be back again next week. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate your support for local. Bye.